Hi there everyone, it's the guy from the Gamertag here, and today I wanted to talk about Apex Legends and specifically engage in the community discussion about whether or not this game is actually lacking content and whether it actually feels a bit dry to most of the player base. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I have been really enjoying this game. I was very sceptical about Battle Royale games. I never thought they looked that interesting. They had some cool ideas about them, and I did definitely like the idea of how tense the games could be and how it could really make you excited if you were able to win. But I wasn't quite sold on the idea of having one life and it being completely out of your hands at times whether you win or lose. But when playing this game, I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I especially like the team play elements, and the communication in this game is fantastic. In my opinion, this game has absolutely revolutionised the way we can communicate with other players in this game, and I'm really looking forward to other games adopting similar systems. But the main problem with this game at the moment is it does feel like there isn't as much to do in the game, even though the gameplay is really fun. Now, the reason for this, I believe, is not actually because there is a lack of content in the game. If you looked at all the possibilities of in-game content, there is actually quite a lot here. There are currently 9 different characters, each with their own unique abilities, playstyles, and also skills needed to master them. There are many weapons in this game, offering up a lot of variety and very different playstyles depending on which weapons you have. The armour also means you have to take into account what other players are doing and how you will approach certain team fights. Also, with the game being a battle royale, it means there is a lot of randomness each round, so each round will play out differently, so theoretically there is almost an infinite amount of content in this game. That being said, the thing that does let this game down is that it is a battle royale. Now, this might seem quite contradictory because whilst being part of that genre it theoretically gives infinite content to the game, it has also vastly limited the amount of content the game feels like it has. And the reason for that is, quite often you can lose a game and it is completely out of your control that you lost. You can just simply be out-looted by other players. You could simply drop to an area and just find nothing and you die instantly and there's nothing you could do about it. And that is the problem. When that happens, it's really disappointing and kind of frustrating at times, especially when this happens for consecutive games and you just don't feel like you're getting anywhere. It just gets very frustrating. And this has been compounded by the levelling up system and also the content you get from levelling up. Now at the moment it seems that every few ranks you get some credits which allow you to unlock legends later on in the game. You also every few ranks unlock an Apex pack, which is a little loot box which gives you 3 items. Now the amount of loot boxes you earn actually decreases a lot the further up the ranks you get, and from what I've heard you actually stop receiving these past rank 100. Now this means that for players that play the game a lot, you're actually getting less the more you play, which seems kind of contradictory. And what's more, the only way to buy cosmetic items through playing the game is with crafting materials, which you can currently only earn from getting the loot packs. So there is always going to be a finite cap on what you can actually earn in the game. And that really does limit the content. You're not working towards anything, you're just kind of having to hope you get lucky, or you are having to pay the money to get what you want. Now in some ways this isn't a bad thing. This is a free-to-play game at the end of the day, so them wanting you and encouraging you to spend money on it is not a bad practice at all. That is kind of the standard for free-to-play games. However, considering the very large player count of this game, and also down to the competitive nature of the players it's attracting, this game does feel like it's actually lacking some of that content. Now, everyone was hoping that when the Battle Pass released for Season 1, it would add some more content to the game. Unfortunately, that hasn't necessarily been the case. Currently, it just works that as you play the game, you get XP, you rank it up, and you also rank up your Battle Pass at the same time. And it gives you various cosmetic items, which in some ways isn't a bad thing. You do have a quantifiable thing you're working towards, but if you aren't actually interested in some of the items in the Battle Pass, it will at times feel like you're not actually working towards anything. Other than these cosmetic items, it hasn't added anything new to the game, which is a little bit disappointing because there are certainly things they can do that will give players a better sense of achievement. And the reason I feel the game needs it is that when you're doing well, the game is fun. You don't worry about whether the game lacks content or not. When the game is going well, you're getting into really fun and entertaining squad fights, and you eventually manage to pull a win out. But when you're just dropping and you're getting unlucky with loot, or you just get scavenged by another squad after the first team fight, it gets frustrating because not only are you not able to enjoy the best part of this game, which is the team play and the large team fights, you're also not actually earning anything. You're barely ranking up, you're barely getting anywhere towards another cosmetic item or something to actually give you a bit of enjoyment and sense of achievement in the game. You're just kind of getting beaten down. And that's why I think this game needs a little bit extra in terms of content to actually just keep players interested. And the way I think it should be done is with challenges. I certainly agree with the community that challenges would help improve this game. However, these weren't implemented with the first Battle Pass. I don't think it would be a good idea bringing in challenges and just leaving them for people owning the Battle Pass. I personally believe this is a perfect opportunity for Respawn to roll out challenges that are available for all players to play. What's more, there are very large benefits to doing this. Firstly, you show the community that you really care about the game. We already see there's a very active social media presence, they post regular updates on social media, and that is very good. But making a grand gesture like this really will cement good player relationships with the studio. Also, this gives you an opportunity to test what challenges people like. But if the challenges are available to everyone, they don't have to pay for them, who's going to complain if they get a challenge they don't enjoy? They can do the one the next day. And it will just give you the opportunity to work out, do people actually like completing these challenges, and what ones are most successful? What ones give the players, firstly, the most enjoyment, are completed the most, and also give the best sense of achievement in the game, and actually help make it feel like it has a lot more content to it. And finally, this has the benefit that once you've collected all this data, you can then optionally add more challenges to the next Battle Pass. What this will do is this will be that little refresher that allows everyone to really get stuck into the game, have a go at these challenges, earn some rewards. And the way I think they should reward players for completing these challenges is by giving them crafting materials, the current currency used for players to unlock new skins, other than the paid for currency. Now the reason for this is because it will be the main reward to earn. Getting extra character credits is only useful when a new character comes out. This will allow players to have an intermediate goal. If they want a certain cosmetic item, they can work their way towards it. And in terms of the amount, I think somewhere maybe around 30 crafting materials for each daily challenge would probably be a reasonable amount. This means that if a player completed every daily challenge in a week, they could get 7 common cosmetic items. This may not even be enough considering the amount of time it would take to get a legendary item. Using this amount, it would actually take 40 challenges for you to unlock a legendary item. But I feel that this kind of amount will be a good starting point because it allows players to see what they're working towards, and it also means that there's a long-term sense of achievement. If you really want that really cool execution or a really awesome character skin, you can work towards it day after day and you can eventually get that item, rather than currently hoping and praying to RNGesus that you get it out of an Apex pack. I feel that if they were to then continue this into future seasons, perhaps for the Battle Pass they could then add weekly challenges on top of these daily challenges. And the rewards for those could be slightly different. You could perhaps keep the daily challenges as giving you crafting materials, but the Battle Pass challenges help you advance your Battle Pass tiers further. It allows you to get through it even quicker, which means those players get even more reward for what they're playing. I think that would be a good compromise. You give every player the chance to unlock something and work towards something that gives them a personal sense of satisfaction, but you also give extra benefits to those who want to pay for extra content from the Battle Pass. And what's more, as I've said, you can collect a lot of data from this, what the game is actually like to do, how quickly they can complete these challenges, and it gives you a much better idea of what kind of challenges you could implement in a future Battle Pass, which would hopefully also give players a lot more incentive to pay for it. I'm personally in a boat where I really enjoy this game. I definitely would be happy to part with money to support this game because I do thoroughly enjoy the gameplay and I really like the way they've handled the game. However, I'm not as yet wanting to buy a Battle Pass because I don't feel like it adds enough for me to want to pay the amount of money it costs. I'm tempted to buy some of these skins or perhaps get the Gibraltar Gravity Crush execution because it does look quite cool and it would be quite fun for me to use. However, I'm just a little bit cautious at the moment. But I think there could also be other options for challenges. If perhaps it's decided that giving players access to that many crafting materials actually is going to hurt the revenue of this game, perhaps instead you add challenges that encourage players to use certain weapons or equipment to unlock cosmetic items for those specifically. Perhaps you get a certain amount of kills with a weapon, you get a kill tracker, or maybe a headshot tracker, or even more, you could then go to a squad wipe tracker. And perhaps right next to these trackers it has your player name, and this would be a great way of adding in a bit more bragging rights into the game and perhaps even more of a sense of accomplishment when you wipe a squad. Because currently if another squad goes and takes your weapon from a crate and they get to see what weapon skin you had, that's quite a cool feature if you want to show one of your friends what weapon skin you've got. Perhaps with this system you then have your name and the kill track on the weapon when they get it out of the crate. They can see how much this person uses this weapon. Are they really good with it? Have they really had a clutch moment and managed to stop someone who would be on track to win the game because they have their favourite weapon? That could be a really cool feature, and it would definitely add more to the community, especially watching all the memers race to see who could be the first person with a kill tracker on the Mozambique. It would give a really good sense of community engagement, and it would definitely give some hype back to the game. See who could get the most kills with a certain weapon in a certain amount of time. Who is the best person at using an arc star? Who has blocked the most damage with Gibraltar's shield? This kind of thing that just gives players a little bit of bragging rights and show off what they've done in the game and what they've managed to achieve. I think that would be a really fun way of adding in extra content and also allowing players to interact with their rivals at the same time. I really do hope that this game gets a small update. It doesn't need to be anything massive, just something that gives players something to do if they aren't having a great day. That's the main problem. If you aren't playing at your best and you're just getting beaten into the ground, it's nice to have something else you're working towards that just gives you a more of an incentive to play the game. And that's what I think a lot of players want. It's not that the game is bad or that it's really lacking content, it's just that by the nature of its design, it will beat you into the ground if you're not having a good day. But I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any other suggestions, please feel free to leave it in the comments down below. I really hope as a community we pull together and we get to see this game really thrive. But I've been the guy with no gamer tag, and I'll see you on another video.
Oh, he's down. He's up here then. They're down. Ultimate ship. I don't know if you can get a red.